Thank you. Thank you. You guys are in for a real treat this afternoon. Welcome to Stevenson Elementary School. I bring you greetings from our superintendent, Dr. Jennifer Martin Green, and our school board members. It's truly been a great day to be a Falcon and a United Way of Southeastern Michigan Community School. We have celebrated the accomplishments of African Americans 365 days. We celebrate 365 days of the year here at Stevenson with a special emphasis during the month of February. As part of our culminating activities today, we featured Mr. Raymond Randolph, one of the Freedom Riders, and he also was the Richmond 34 member. He shared his amazing story with us, and he left us all in awe this morning. I would like to take this opportunity to salute the dedicated mayor of the city of Southfield, Dr. Kenton Siver, that is here with us, and our other distinguished guests on the panel here. Of course, I could not let the day go without featuring our dedicated staff members and our overzealous students here at Stevenson. And of course, my partner in education, Mr. Thompson, wherever you are. Before I turn the microphone over, thank you. Before I turn the microphone over to our MC, I will leave you with these words, scholars, as we wrap up Black History Month. I want you to remember, dream like Martin Luther King Jr. I want you to lead like Harriet Tubman. I want you to fight like Malcolm X. I want you to think like Marcus Garvey. I want you to write like Maya Angelou. I want you to build an empire like Madam C.J. Walker. I want you to speak like Frederick Douglass. I want you to educate yourself like E.B. Du Bois. I want you to believe in yourself like Thurgood Marshall. I want you to challenge yourself like Rosa Parks did. I want you to empower yourself like Barack Obama. And I want you to inspire to be like Kamala Harris. So sit back and enjoy this magnificent visual arts showcase to wrap up our Black History program. I'll now bring to the microphone, to our podium, our MC for this event, Mr. Rico Brown.
Thank you. Good afternoon, young people, young boys and girls. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's so good to see your smiling faces, and once again, thank you and welcome to Black History Extravaganza from Africa to America. We have so many extenuating guests here today, and we thank you for being here. Right now, it's my honor to bring to you the Honorable Mr. Kenton Siver, the Mayor of Southfield.
Good afternoon, Stevenson. It's great to be back at Stevenson School. I have been in this school many times, and it's always a pleasure for me to come back here. I've worked with Principal Hickman for many years, and you're lucky to have her. So, I was invited to be here today, and I thought I've known Curtis Lewis, the artist, for many years. He's done many murals in Southfield. If you're not aware, the mural behind you is done by none other than Curtis Lewis, who's sitting here today. Mr. Lewis will be presenting all of you with a coloring book that is just exquisitely done. It's called American Legacy Profiles in Greatness. Mr. Lewis has an extraordinary talent, and I think it's just very fitting that today he's here to cap off Black History Month. But also, I really agree with Principal Hickman's words that Black history is American history. Black people have contributed to this country in many, many, many ways, and hopefully, as you grow up and you complete your education, that you'll be among those people who are contributing to the strength of our country and its accomplishments. So I do want to thank Mr. Lewis and the school for inviting me today. I'm looking forward greatly to the unveiling today, as I have not seen the works yet, but I know from many other pieces of work that I've been present for with Mr. Lewis that they were extraordinary. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Right now, I have the honor to introduce. That's not what she said. It is my honor to introduce our African chief, Mr. Bill Bang. Please come up, sir. He is a chief.
Thank you. Hello, Stevenson Elementary School. And good afternoon to everybody. I'm happy to be here this afternoon. I thank the committee, and the directors gave me the opportunity to come and share something about Africa with you, Stevenson Elementary School. My African name is Kwame Akobua. And Kwame Akobua, Kwame means born on Saturday. So in Africa, most of our names are named according to the day you are born. So if you are a girl and you are born Sunday, your name is Akosua. Kwame is Saturday. Another thing I will take opportunity to share with you is I was born, raised in Ghana. I'm from Ghana, West Africa, in Africa. So I bring greetings to you all from Africa. Now I want to share with you as little kids growing up to be good in the society. Example is, we don't have the opportunity that the children you guys have in America here. We have to go through a lot of stuff. Even to get the opportunity to come here is God's grace. I had the opportunity to come to America, and I make the best of America in my life. Because unfortunately, my father died when I was young. But because my mother was there, and luckily we have Pastor Dr. William Reveley, who came to Africa to help us, we were able to achieve our vision. I came to America. When I came here, at a certain point, I was living in homeless home until Rev, which is Dr. Williams, moved me to his house. I didn't forsake my education. I went to school. I had a master's in electrical. I'm an electrical contractor. I had a first-class refrigeration license. I have high boiler pressure license, which of course you might not understand all this. But education, when you educate yourself, you will empower yourself. You can be whoever you want to be. Nobody can stop you. The only way you can be unstoppable is put education, God and education first. And another thing I will speak about is, as we are growing, as little children, you growing, the teachers are helping you. You have to be nice with your friends, even those you know and those you don't know. And I encourage you again to study hard. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself, because a lot of people limit their own self. Nobody can limit you, because everybody is unique by the Creator, which is our God. Everybody has a talent. But in order to achieve your talent, you have some responsibilities you have to offer. So I'm happy to be here to share with you that you guys are blessed, especially from America, because I get friends that are from different countries. So I always tell the children, and even my children, if you cannot educate yourself and make a difference in the society in America, I don't know any other country you can do that. I don't know other country, because I get people in Germany, everywhere, Europe, and they want to come to America. So if you are born and raised here, that is number one achievement. So go fight for your dream. Be doctors, lawyers, engineers, pastors, bishop, whatever your goal is, keep on and pray, and you'll get to where you want to be. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Great words spoken.
Oh, Chief. You want me to say? And I speak different languages. I speak about 11 languages. Yeah, 11 different languages, which most of them are West African language. And we have international language like English, French. I have to learn English. We have to learn French. And then we have our local dialect. In Chi, in my language, my native language, Akwaba means welcome. Akwaba means welcome. I love you all. Medo munyina. Meaning I love you all.
Thank you, Chief. That was very educational. And now we have our author. She's the author of our coloring book, is also my good friend, my sister, Cynthia Henley.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, boys and girls. I'm so thankful to see you here participating in this Black History celebration. This celebration is about Black history from Africa to America. And the books that we have here reflect from Africa to America. We have a book about President Barack Obama. We have a book about Aretha Franklin. How many of you know Aretha Franklin? Okay. So you know she's from here. She's one of our own. We call that grassroots, homegrown. We have a book here as well that is entitled, I Come From Emperors, Kings, and Queens. Always remember that you come from royalty, that you are worthy, that you are perfect, and that as the chieftain shared with you, you have all the opportunity in the world to enhance yourself with your education. I myself graduated from Wayne State University here in Detroit, and I received my master's at Lawrence Technical University in journalism and communication. I love writing, obviously, which is one of the reasons why I do what I do. I want to tell you a story today, just a brief one. Today is, we're in Black History Month, but it is my mother's birthday. And she instilled something in me that I find now that was very unique, but I want to pass it on to you, and it's about reading. By the time I was 7 years old, I had already read Malcolm X. By the time I was 10, I had read the narrative of Frederick Douglass 4 times. I read Gwendolyn Brooks, Maya Angelou, James Baldwin, all of the Renaissance African American writers. I had Black history in my blood. And I didn't know that it was something special or that it was something that everybody else wasn't being taught. But we're here to bring you Black history because it is so important that you know where you come from, So then that helps you decide where you're going and what you're going to be. So everybody that's on this platform in these books, they're all the best. Aretha Franklin was the best singer in the world. Not just here in America, but in the world. And when she passed, the whole world honored her. She was the Queen of Soul. We know that President Barack Obama was the first black president of the United States, so we already know he was the best too. And as far as I come from emperors, kings, and queens, we have a total of 24 emperors, kings, and queens, which it's the first volume, so there are many more, but you come from royalty. So this is all about being the best. So that's what we want you to do. Make up your mind when you leave here today that whatever it is that you choose to do, that you will be the best at it. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Let's give her another hand. Let's give her another hand. And now the moment that we've all been waiting for, the unveiling. Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Let's give Dr. Brown a hand. Me and Dr. Brown go way back to some of my early shows, over 20, 30, and whatever else years ago. And I also like to say that he's so dear to me because when I was a little boy, he used to babysit me. Oh, even though I'm older than him, it's okay. But we're here today, and I brought a few of my paintings for you young people to see. I also like to take a moment. Thank you much. I like to take a moment to say that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a queen that is in this building, and that's your principal, Queen Hickman. I'd like to thank my good friend, the mayor of Southfield, because we go back before he was mayor, Mr. Kenson Cyber. I always said that was a very cool name. Thank you much, man. And my newest friend, a chieftain that came here all the way from Ghana to see you. And that is Chieftain Bill Obeng. Thank you. And definitely, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the person who wrote these coloring books, and each one of you are going to get an autographed signed coloring book, and that's Miss Cynthia Henley, writer extraordinaire. Now, I want you all to give yourself a hand for being such a great audience. I want to also thank all my guests sitting along the side of this wall over to my left. Thank you all for coming out to support me. Behind me are some paintings. There are some paintings behind me. We see Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul. I used to be Aretha Franklin's artist. many years ago. I did artwork for her father, her sisters, and family. And so it was very special for me to do the coloring book on Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. And directly behind me is President Barack Obama. You know, it's not how you start in life that counts. It's how you navigate to get to where you got to go in life, with no excuses. We as black people, we were born with a lot of challenges. But I want you to know, despite those challenges that we had, those disadvantages that we had, God have equipped us with what it takes to make it, with no excuse. You know, when I was a little boy your age, let me tell you about black history. I'm not here to debate black history. I'm here to get black history straight. When I was a little boy, we didn't have black history in our school books. Not only did we not have black history in our school books, we did not have black people in our school books. And when we drew pictures of ourselves and our family, we did not pick up the brown crayon. You know, it wasn't until I was in junior high before I realized we were not coloring ourselves in. It was almost like we were invisible. So one day I decided that I was going to pick up the brown crayon and the brown paintbrush and color myself in. I said, I don't know what the repercussions may be, nor do it matter to me, because this is who I am, and this is what I'm going to do. After that, my mark went from an A in art to a B. I never had a B in art before. My mother was upset. She came to the school. She said, Curtis, are you talking? What is it? Because I know you don't get no B's in art. She said, I'm going to see your teacher. She came to see my teacher, and she said, well, what is the problem? Because Curtis never got a B in art in his life. And the teacher looked at me, and he said to my mother, well, Curtis is one of my better B students. One of my better B students. Now, at this point, I didn't say a word. And so my mother left still being disappointed, because that teacher said if I gave Curtis an A, he wouldn't have nothing to strive for. But I was under the impression that if I've done the work of an A student, I'm supposed to get an A in art. But fortunately, when God gave me the gift to paint and to draw, he gave me another gift. He gave me the gift of speed. And because he gave me that gift, I decided to quietly challenge this teacher. So the teacher gave us an assignment that was supposed to take the class 2 weeks to do. I did that assignment in one day. And I went to his desk and I took him that picture. He looked at it and he said, well, do it again. So I went and I knocked that picture out again. And the next day, I knocked it out again. He said, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you the assignment that I have scheduled for you 2 weeks from now. He gave me that assignment while they were working on theirs, and I knocked it out that day. He couldn't say nothing because he couldn't say nothing bad because I was the best artist in the class. He said, do it again, so I did. So he said, well, okay, I'm going to give you the assignment that we're going to do 2 weeks after that. But he knew what was coming because I was getting ready to knock it out. I knocked that one out. And so finally the teacher said, well, Curtis, what you do is draw or paint whatever you want to paint. And so I began to use the art room as my job. I had customers. I was drawing, selling pictures, making money, but he knew one thing: at the end of the day, give me my A. He came to me on Martin Luther King, right after Martin Luther King died. King died on a Friday. He came to me that Monday. He said, Curtis, we need a painting of Dr. Martin Luther King to go in the showcase in front of the office. And I knew, and he knew, you don't go ask for a painting like that for your B student. I accepted that B for a reason that he did not know. Until that B, I accepted it for black and being black. And when I got through, my B went from a B for being black to an A for being an African American. So what I'm trying to tell you, young people, there may be obstacles that you may have to face, but you don't have to fight about it because you are equipped for the job. There is an attempt at the present time, for those who don't know, there's an attack on black history. There are people like the governor down in Florida who wants to eliminate black history. And there were young kids in their lunchroom this year trying to have a black history celebration. And those kids were arrested. So what I'm saying is, somebody don't want your history told. Be grateful that you're in a place where they embrace your history. Be grateful that you're in a place where you have a mayor who cares enough to come and be with you during your Black History celebration. Now let me see if I can put it into its proper space. And I'll be wrapping up shortly. If you have a man that have about $250 and another man that have about $4 million, which one is the richest? 4 million. Okay, now let me ask you this. If you have a history that is about 250 years old, and you have another history that is over 4 million years old, which history is the greatest? American history is only about 250 years old. Your history is millions of years old. That's why we're here to let you know who you are. Do you know the first kings? The first king was Pharaoh Narmer. He's in the book, also called Menes and Mens. He was from Africa. If you go down through the dynasties, the first female queen, Pharaoh, her name was Hatshepsut. She was Black history. Black history did not start in the cotton fields of Mississippi. It did not start in the tobacco fields of South Carolina, nor the sugarcane fields. Our history started across the ocean. Do you know that the most beautiful women in the world, beauty is based upon 3 black queens? That's Cleopatra, the most famous. There's Nefertiti, the most beautiful, and Queen of Sheba, the richest. That's what you are. That's who you come from. The richest man that ever walked this earth name was not Donald Trump. Nor was it Rockefeller or any of the names you hear today. The richest king, his name was Mansa Musa. And Mansa Musa was a Mali king. And he was worth, by today's standard, over $400 billion. That's where you come from. There were the warrior kings, there were the warrior queens, and others. And that's what flows through your blood. So therefore, take your history serious and make sure you use your history so you won't lose your history. So once again, I want to hear everyone say, I come from pharaohs, emperors, kings, and queens. Give yourself a hand. Now, at this moment, I'm going to ask Miss Cynthia Henley if she would come and join me over at the table here, and I'm going to hand this microphone back over to your very special, precious principal, Ms. Hickman, and we have some gifts for you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. What an amazing presentation. Scholars, you have had the most amazing culminating activities today to celebrate Black History Month here at Stevenson. Let's give yourselves a round of applause for being the most amazing and engaged scholars in the city of Southfield. To our distinguished panel here, thank you. To our mayor of Southfield, we thank you here at Stevenson. And so what we are going to do today, we have coloring books for each of you. And it would not be appropriate for us to just give it to you. We want them autographed, right? Because that's how we do things at Stevenson, right? If we have the author and the illustrator here, we want them to put their John Hancock on it, right, scholars? So what we are going to do today, we don't have enough time, and as you can see, many of your parents have started to pick you up early because the weather is starting to get a little inclement outside. So what we are going to do is we are going to allow our 5th graders today, since they are the seniors in the house, we're going to allow our 5th graders to quietly line up, and you're going to come along the side, and you will get to choose between a Barack Obama, Kings and Queens, or Aretha Franklin coloring book. The rest of you will get them tomorrow, as we need time to sign them all. So when you come up, you can have an opportunity to choose. Start to think about now who you are interested in. Excuse me. Think about who you're interested in as you walk past. Make sure you take a peek at the art up close. You will notice that it's 3D art. The art is 3-dimensional. You'll see jewels and stones, rhinestones on those pieces of art.
Pastor Vance class, stand up. Miss Mitchell's class, stand up.